Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna connect this guy, the receiver, into the camera. And I told you, you guys be careful, it only go one way in the upward position. Okay, once it's in there, you it's kind of tight fit, so be very careful. All right, and then what you're gonna do is uh, you can hit play now, and it should take you first exposure. So let's hit play, and it's counting down again, and then watch the light here. See what's gonna happen. And that's it. Let's pause it. So it took the first exposure, like you see the light was green, and this light was green, and it took that first exposure. By the way, when you buy your camera, excuse me, your receiver, you will not have this light. This guy over here, I just put this together. That was one of my my issues with this camera. It doesn't have a light in the front, and therefore you can't really know when this light, you know, whether or not the light is green, it's getting any signal from your receiver or not. So so I did the whole I should say I don't know how to say that. I did the whole recustomize this thing where it worked for my needs. So I added a bipolar LED to it, and now I can see this light flashing from this side or from this side as well. So there, if I'm in the back side of the camera, I can see it. If I'm in the front side of the camera, I can see that light as well. And I have a video on how you do that. I put it together, a quick tutorial, and kind of show you all the you know, what I had to do to put that in place. There's a lot of room inside here, so you have a lot of room where you'll be able to do exactly what I was doing. It's going to require a lot of a steady hand and some soldering skill, but you should be good because everything inside this guy here is surface mount. And I had another video about when I took this apart and kind of show you what's inside, what are the components used, and things like that. Again, this is pretty much for anyone who has a you know, how should I say that, photography hobby and electronic hobby altogether. This is a good LED, and I know once you get your model, you know you're gonna need one of these here, just like I do. And so watch my next video in case you want to do that. Again, the video, I do apologize. I was using my webcam. It's a little bit shaky. You know, I don't have you know, a high-tech camera or whatever. I'm just using my webcam right now. I don't do a lot of videos. That's why I don't have one of these things. Anyway, so so that is your timer. Okay, this timer here, like I said, you can either use it wirelessly or you can use it with a wire. If you're using it with this wire here, which comes with it, I think it's called PC2, something like that, there's no need to use this receiver. So let's just turn this guy, turn it off, and we're gonna use this guy here. So if you look at this, the plug, I recommend putting some kind of mark in here so you know which way is up. These two holes right here, they have to go in the upward position. So let's take this off. All right, and then let's put this back in here. All right, let me try to use one hand and okay. All right, it's in place. And then you just gotta connect this end into the back of your remote. Okay, just like so. And that's it. So now all you need to do is hit play, and it's counting down again, and then after 10 seconds it would take your first exposure, and notice the number of exposure, you have 5 left. Okay, and here we go, light is green, and that's it. And let's pause it now. Okay, that's it. This is really good stuff. I mean, I cannot emphasize enough how good and how handy this thing comes into play. Really, it is wireless and wire all together. It's a must-have. Anybody, photography professional, hobbyist, a guy learning how to, you know, using the timer, things like that. This is it. This is a must-have. You can get the same one. I will say that a Canon brand, $180. I was looking at one, but it's wired. It's wired, not wireless, and the length is about I think it's probably 24 inches wire, and that's it. And it does the same thing. Everything that this remote does, that one does. It's the same thing. However, this one here is pretty handy because it's wireless and it's wired. And what I like about it is it mounts on the side of your camera. I have another receiver here I used to use a lot, and it's the same thing. This is an older model. I got this from eBay again, and this is only a wireless remote. It doesn't have a timer in it. Okay, and this is the remote control. Okay, the only downside about this guy here, you have to mount this on the flash where you use your flash. Okay, so now it's mounted in here, and if you want to use your flash like I have, I can't use it. So what I usually do, I just connect it on the side with this wire, and it kind of hangs. I have it hanging, you know, and it just doesn't look good. And the other thing I noticed, the remote, even though it looks a lot smaller, look at the size, but you have an antenna here. So if I'm far away, let's say 15 feet, I want to take an exposure, I have to pull that antenna. So what I do, if I'm part of the exposure, I have to put it on my back, you know, put my hand behind my back and take an exposure, and it doesn't look good. Otherwise, with this one here, it's a I think it's 100 meters so far. You can, you know, put your hand in your pocket and take an exposure, or you can set your timer. You don't have to set it to you know, your standard camera timer. It's either, what is it, 3 seconds or 20 seconds, but you can set this to any time you like. I have it set to 20 seconds. Okay, and that's about it. So I'm gonna pause this video, and I'll be back.